Hello everyone, and welcome to Geography A111, Discovering Alaska and Earth's Physical Geography. My name is Dorn van Domelen, and I'm the professor for this course. And this is just going to be a very brief introduction to the course and its structure. There's a lot more information in the syllabus that you should take a look at. And if you have any questions whatsoever, you should let me know. Send me an email. You can stop by my office, figure out a way to get in contact with me, and we can do that. So first off, what this course is about is a basic earth science class. You'll be introduced very early in the course to the field of geography and what geographers do, what we think about, how we look at the world. But then the vast majority of the course is going to focus on the basic earth sciences, starting with atmospheric processes, and then moving into earth processes that create the landforms that we look at on a regular basis. This course also focuses a lot on scientific thinking, especially in a couple of the assignments that you're going to be doing, a set of assignments called the physical geography assignments. You are going to be learning about how scientists think about the sorts of evidence that we look at and how it can help us to understand the world. And as much of this as is possible is going to be placed in an Alaska context because this is a University of Alaska Anchorage course, and there is just so much cool stuff to look at and think about here in Alaska. That's what I try to do in this course. The course is built on three basic requirements. There is number one, weekly what I call module homework, where you essentially are asked a series of questions that encourages you to engage with the materials of the course and start preparing for the exam. In addition to that, every single week there will be one physical geography assignment. And this is going to ask you to put some of what you're learning about in the lecture and in the homework and in the readings and videos that you look at into practice. You'll have to do a lot of these assignments using Google Earth Pro, and you're going to learn more about that as the course proceeds. And then there is, at the end of the semester, I'm afraid to say, one final exam, which is a closed book exam, where I attempt to assess your overall learning of the basic content, particularly of the earth science material in the course. So that's sort of the bad news, I guess. The good news is that my grading system is a little bit non-standard for this class. You still get an A through an F, but rather than being graded sheerly on a 90 to 100 equals an A basis, you actually gain your grades by attaining thresholds, getting enough of your homework assignments in, completing enough physical geography assignments with good grades, and then ultimately doing well in the exam. The homework assignments and the physical geography assignments can all be resubmitted to me multiple times. So that means that if you didn't do a great job the first time around, as long as you gave it a good try, you are able to resubmit it and potentially get a higher mark on it that will allow you to meet those thresholds. So you have the opportunity to keep working on a course and make progress in the course so that ultimately you can get the highest grade that you can get if you do really well on the final exam. There's more about this grading system on the syllabus material on Blackboard, and so I'd like to encourage you to take a look at that. There's lots of stuff in the syllabus. I have it set up sort of as a cloud-based syllabus. You're able to read that material, look at it, and actually download individual documents from it so that you have your own physical record if you'd like to. One thing that I'd like to just point out to everyone before I move on is that I use a lot of grading rubrics, particularly for the physical geography assignments. Make sure that you review those grading rubrics as you're working through things. Oftentimes, understanding what's in the rubric is your pathway to getting the highest grade possible. Now, there is a textbook in this class, and I'm afraid to say it's one of the expensive standard texts. There isn't a great free textbook for physical geography. So that's the bad news because Elemental Geosystems, which is the text I use in the 9th edition, costs well over $100. But the good news is it comes in many, many editions, and I just have 4 of the editions up there because it's in the 9th edition right now. There are lots of old copies out there. And I'd like to encourage you to get a hold of one of those cheaper and older editions as soon as you possibly can in the course, because you are going to be able to need to use a standard physical geography text in this class to really keep up with the material and do well in the homework assignments. So just a brief little bit about me. I have been at UAA for a very long time now. I got my undergraduate degree at Penn State, a Bachelor of Science, and then I got my master's degree at the University of Kentucky. And then I got my PhD in geography at the University of Toronto and moved up to Alaska over 30 years ago. And I have embraced the Alaskan life, as I'm sure many of you guys have as well. I love to backpack, I love to run, I love to ski. I'm super engaged in a sport called orienteering, which I am happy to talk to anybody about if you'd like to hear more about it. That third picture there shows me in an orienteering race in the Talkeetna Mountains. And all this Alaska time in the out of doors has really helped me to make, I think, this course about Alaska. And the reason I like to be outside is because I like to learn about what I'm seeing and what I'm experiencing. And it's so easy to do that in Alaska. So if you're like that, you're an Alaskan who loves to be outside, you like to look around, you like to try to understand the world around you, you'll get a lot out of this class, I think. My office hours are officially on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 1 until 2:15, but I am in my office all the time. During those office hours, I'll be available by Zoom if you need me, but you can set up times to meet with me lots of other times during the week. I come to the office pretty much 9 to 5, and it's easy to set up a time to come and talk to me. And you are also free to come to my office and see me in person if you want to as well. If you have any questions in this class, any problems, any concerns, please reach out. That's what I'm here to do, to help you not only to learn about geography, but to be successful and to have your questions answered. A couple important things to think about as I get prepared to wind down here a little bit. Number one is syllabus material is very important, so make sure you take a look at that syllabus that's posted in Blackboard for you. There are a number of different documents there, including schedules for the course, the requirements for the course, and other things as well. Everything's on Blackboard, and because this is an online class, you're going to be using Blackboard for everything. So you're going to have to really get used to using Blackboard, be comfortable with it, and make sure you understand how everything works in the course, though I'm happy to help you out if you are confused about something. You also have to have some basic computer literacy in this class because you are going to be using Google Earth Pro, and that's going to require you to do some basic file manipulation, use some data to download and put into Google Earth. We'll talk more about that, but you should be comfortable with using a computer in this class. And of course, you probably should be anyhow if you're in an online class like this. Again, I'm happy to help you out if you have questions to ask. I posted a little sort of like, I guess, memo you could almost call about some of the things that I think are important to helping you succeed in an online class. I'd like to throw out there, if you have questions that you don't see addressed in this course, you can not only ask me, but also ask me to make another little video about some part of the course or some part of the course material that you are learning about. You should also know the basic structure of the course, both on Blackboard and also on the schedule of the course as well. It's online and asynchronous, but there is a weekly schedule. And every week there is a new module. That module has a basic introduction in it. There are some outcomes that are posted that are your de facto study guide. There will be lectures and other videos that I have posted that I expect you to look at. So make sure you look at all of those. And of course, there's both module homework and a physical geography assignment for each of these weekly modules as well. So make sure that you dive in a little bit, take a look at the course, take a look at its structure and understand it. And then each of these modules will appear in time, and they'll be early so that you'll be able to jump into them as soon as you're able to. So that's all I have for now. I hope you enjoy the class. And again, reach out if you have any questions.